afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. A rather different one here since we got the British free trial on our hands. Came out here yesterday in the evening. So we've got here Arnhem checkpoint. Yes, indeed. Some rather different terrain than what we're used to. Lots of nice trees. In fact, it's overall sort of lots of nice terrain. They'll go make a video more going into this. We've got here in the south Melchett fighting for the United Kingdom's forces here, the Commonwealth, for Winston Churchill and everybody else here. And we've got a bunch of exciting doctrines here. We've got Commando Regiment, Royal Artillery and Royal Engineer Regiment. We've got two infantry sections up here with access to numerous upgrades and grenades. Bullets for infantry, machine guns and armor versus Slink here fighting for the Wehrmacht für Deutschland with Festung armor, Festung support, mobile defense here, and a tank infantry and machine gun bulletins. And he is here taking on the fight for the 107th Panzer Brigade. Tasked with stalling the advance here of 30th Corps, of which Melchett is forming up the lead elements.
New machine gun crew ready and waiting.
We've got a Vickers here arriving as well, noting here the base is rather, well, three-tiered. You got the first tier, second tier, third tier. You got weapon racks as well, rather like the Americans, though some elements are notably cheaper. Piets there, not quite on the same level as the bazooka, so only a bit more awkward to use. We've got MG42s grenadiers arriving for Slink, barbed wire going around the fuel point. And we got a universal carrier there on the way for Melchett. That should be interesting. Also noting the British have access to a bolster infantry squad, so while in some sense, I mean, they're more defensive, slow faction, a bit like the Wehrmacht, at the same time they do possess some abilities which rather means, for example, the infantry is a lot more flexible than the German troop, plus of course in the later game can be a lot more tougher. Also important thing to keep in mind, which of course probably not all who are sort of getting into this are quite aware of, but British infantry are very much dependent on cover. Outside of cover, a bit like Ostrom, they don't perform very well. Of course, unlike Ostrom, in cover and even out of cover, they do perform still better than Ostrom, but certainly in cover they become actually quite potent. Same with buildings. Throwing some weapons, they'll do even better. And of course, noting here, no windows means you can't shoot anything. I mean, in theory, you can blow a hole here in the side, and that way open up for things, but in the early games, you don't really carry that kind of weaponry around. We've got the universal carry here on the way, got access to the Vickers K and the Wasp upgrade, which is basically turned into a small little nasty flamethrower. Vickers setting up here, Grenadiers holding up here behind the Opel Blitz, going to Commander 5, Vickers setting up there, Grenadiers moving up there with basically first major engagement here in the centre for the village square. Vickers firing away, MG42 moving up, Universal Carry quickly with that bit of chopper, there we go, Universal Carry flanking on the Grenadiers. We've got Pioneers moving up here far west. Another MG42 arriving for Slink1, by the way, so that's double Grenadiers, double MG42s, mix here of sort of map control, but also pushing ahead aggressively. Plus, of course, the MG42s with what their can also sort of, push it aggressively. There we go, damaging the Universal Carrier. Can holder here, upgrade for the Vickers K. Wasp also closing in on that. He's already, in fact, tagged up here for the platoon command post, which gives access to sappers, snipers, and her tank guns, mortar emplacement for the sappers to build, and with upgrades you can either get a Bofors or the AEC Mark III. Also, we got the choice here of Royal Engineer Regiment, stand fast, designate command vehicle, vehicle crew repairs, and so on. And, well, anti-building flame mortar support, basically shoots at any buildings with incendiary bombs. For example, your opponent has dug in, say, in a lot of buildings, you can use that sort of basically force them out. Plus, finally, the AVRE. Part of what was known as Hobart's Funnies back in Normandy. We've also got mortar for Slinks to provide artillery support for his frontline units. MG there occupying the restaurant in the north, duking up here with the Vickers. It's a bit of a machine gun duel here between the two positions. Germans securing the west, British are securing the east. Also got a sandbags up here, infantry can lay those down, plus I do believe trenches. Got the universal care being repaired, and we got the medical supplies, which basically allows them to heal themselves and troops nearby them, which rather makes the British infantry in that sense very flexible compared to, say, the Grenadier, who can only, in the veteran one, heal them others, but never themselves. There we go, holding up here decently. Arnies are dealing with one infantry section, gunning down some Tommies. got the Melchett there, there's a sapper support moving in, and there we go. Forced away, losses being rather seriously inflicted. Grenadiers moving up there, focusing rather heavily now on sort of clearing up the Tommies of the village centre, while the Tommies are intent on forcing out Harry Hun here as well from the northern outskirts of the village. Moving up the west flank, not bad. We got an M14 up good position, also doing some updates to the infantry animations, so they look a bit more, well, human such. Infantry are being pushed back by the Grenadier. Third Grenadier brought down the way, by the way, so he's going heavy on the infantry. I do believe he hasn't taken up yet. He's going for a pretty heavy tier 1 here versus the British, which can work out, but of course it could also delay sort of heavy elements like say Panzer Grenadiers, half tracks with flamethrowers or some other elements which could apply more pressure to Melchett. While I mean he's already hit tier 2. We haven't got so much from him, but there we go. We actually got a mortar emplacement going up here, 3-inch, which is about 70 or so millimeters, not quite 80 millimeters, I believe. 76 actually. But of course, one thing to note about his, compared to say the old mortar emplacement with the first game, and you got 2 mortars here. You've also got a creeping smoke barrage at Veterans 1. Yeah, it can lay down sort of more murderous fire, but it's also a bit more vulnerable even with the ability to sort of brace itself, which does mean it can't fire, but it does take less damage. So at the moment, Slink and the Panzer Brigade has nicely secured a nice chunk of the map here. Universal carriers being sort of reconnaissance transport vehicles for the British. They also had a larger one, the Lloyd carrier, which they basically used as a carrier, sort of towing artillery pieces, anti-tank guns and the likes. Universal carriers sort of pulled off, well, different roles, but also reconnaissance transport and such. There of course also the Wasp, which I believe was a Canadian thing the British basically took over. The Canadians were rather clever in that sense, came up with a lot of things which the British then afterwards adopted. And we've got here the command vehicle designated, which gives them access to air, well, basically reconnaissance, and it also allows it to sort of buff other troops. It does make it move slower, shoot less, but it seems like he's only using it to call in air reconnaissance. Otherwise, he could, support his Vickers and his sappers in the centre with it, just bring it close enough. So I suppose you can just use it for free air reconnaissance isn't exactly a bad deal. So right now, the Germans are on a bit of a situation here with the British basically got. Look at their positions, which basically means the mortar emplacement here. It's going to be having quite a lot of fun there, so that's actually quite a nice combo. An MD42 cleared up, mortar cleared out. Actually, we're seeing here that the Huns are suffering quite severely for the might of the British Army. Infantry advancing through the back garden of the restaurant, quickly grabbing the mortar, and the MD42 here. Heavy blow to Slink, who's quickly getting a 222. Like the punches wagon. Nothing further here though from Melchett.
Capture point is being overrun.
Also noting both squads have an upgrade here with medical supplies. You can also get them sort of an artillery spotter one, which allows them to sort of pop a grenade, which then allows the artillery piece here back to the base to fire. Yes, indeed, British bases got artillery. For some reason, I'd always figure that'd be something more akin to the Soviets, who really also were fans of massed artillery.
Our supply line's broken.
The British certainly also were fans of a lot of, well, explosives. Right now, Slink has suffered quite a bit. He lost a mortar, MD42 there to the Tommies. You could, of course, rush further on, but he's getting back 40 just in case the opponent's getting, well, armour or vehicles. We got here a 6-pounder gun on the way for Melchett. Getting a bit of anti-tank gunning there. 280 manpower. Overall, though, we still got Slinks on most of the map, but now, of course, the control of the centre village has basically changed. So, of course, question is how will Slink approach this, and, of course, what will Melchett do from now on? Right, here's trying to finish with sandbags. Thing to keep in mind, while your troops laying down sandbags, they are nice, easier targets for enemy infantry. Looks like Melchett in this case realises and pulls back, escaping a rather not funny fate. Could be considering maybe a bunker around here. He's going to try and hold the eastern viewpoint as well. No, looks like he's not. 2-2 hanging about here. Being, well, crossed back through the orchard. Right now, the British definitely got an advantage in artillery. They got both the Granatenwerfer and, of course, the 3-inch mortar emplacement. German assault going in on the west, but already within range of British mortars, it's definitely going to be a bit harried, and there's certainly frustrating there go. And that's a lot of mortar fire. Trees shattering, Germans somehow managing to dodge it mostly. 222 inch enough, not being sent to support. I think we've got the anti-tank Nick basically covering up, but there we go. You can sort of see here, thanks to the command vehicle, where it's suddenly a bit tougher. We've got an assault here. Slank's most troops are going against the sappers, but all here. At this range, the MD-42 isn't really doing too well here. There we go, quickly cleared out. Not sure why he decided to lead with the MD-42. Generally, you want your infantry to lead first, not the machine gun. So we've got one intersection, light cavalry and light cavalry. They also have access to rifle, need to flush them out in that sense. Melchett's actually got grenades upgrade as well here, the Mills bomb. Which, by the way, could be used as a, well, also serve as a rifle grenade. Basically, though, is a grenade on a stick. There you go, let's go. Lost, we've seen Slink1 taking severe casualties. Looks like Mark over mobile defensive overcome it. Throwing some Osttorben. So trying to overcome this. Intersection hanging about there. 2-2 hanging about. And getting Panzer Grenadiers with a bit more assault firepower there as well. That could also work, but this has definitely been a rather horrific engagement for Slink1. Though, rather a bit his own fault as well. As a rule of thumb, don't send your MD-42 first, have infantry or pioneers screen it, and so on, so on. At least have a scout car nearby to at least spot ahead. Looks like Slink's finally getting a bit of life in there. Pioneers moving to grab the MD-42, infantry moving out here in the open. Noting British sections are very much dependent on cover. Oh, looks like there's a bit of a they're giving a bit of light there, but still. Versus when it is caught versus with the light machine gun. Out in the open, they're rather easy targets to deal with, so you know. Better ensconced. In the end though, the Grenadiers were still rather poor condition there for Slink1 to actually have them sort of stay for any longer. Panzer Grenadiers arriving. For Melchett, we all got to check up here. 11 minutes in, he can get the company command post up, which gives access to the Sen Tower, Cromwell, Firefly, 17-pounders, plus, depending on what specialisation he chooses, he can either get a Comet or Churchill. The MD-42 here is dealt with by the 222. Simply not having any luck there, another pushing to the centre stop of the Vickers from the church, and veterans of one Vickers actually gain more range while inside buildings, meaning, I mean, in that sense, the bridges really have a stronger defensive element to them. You got the 222 basically conducting anti-air operations, trying to shoot down that British aircraft. Further mortar fire there can be seen. Right now, Melchett is establishing a much more dominant position on the map, making things a lot more difficult for Slink to basically move about there. He's still controlling the fuel points, but so far he's not doing so much with them. He really should try and take up aggressively once he got all that fuel, you know, get out of Panzers, some Austrians or Stu as quickly as he can, rather than dilly-dallying about here in Tier 1, Tier 2 with 200 fuel. Definitely not the best option. We've got Savage moving up there. Apparently using their mortar to actually clear out some of the barbed wire, it seems. Or actually, in this case, I imagine he actually used the destroy cover ability, which is a bit of a unique ability for the sappers, basically to sort of clear up any sort of obstacles. Very nice one there, go though, catching the Panzer Grenadier. We'll quickly send those Tommies running. But there we go, going for both fuel points now. Melchett getting bolder here. And we've got increased section sizes as well for Melchett. And there you go, shot down, crashing into a nearby shed. Mortar crew, I'm sure, were quite happy they weren't the target.
Threatening a capture point.
Seems like Slink here so far focused on the left flank with some minor dispatch to the right. Still not taking up. Mortar crew trying to escape here. Engage with some of these. For some reason, they not tried just to engage. In fact, they tried to get into cover here. They probably better they just swap from here. Rather than it might work out or not. Nothing further there. Head-on assault here against a nice, strong British position. In this case, managed to suppress the intersection. Ostrom called in. So in this case, Slink is quickly filling up his positions. I don't know if there are actually any sort of Ostrom doing on him, though there were plenty of other, shall we say, lower quality troops. Reichsarbeitsdienst, Luftwaffe personnel, and not even from Luftwaffe infantry, it's basically just spare personnel formed into Horse and Kriegsmarine personnel, also formed into more ad hoc units. But losing Grenadier Squad and a light machine gun there is definitely not good here. Slink needs to be more careful, a bit more judicious in his use of his troops. He's certainly losing, I think, a few too many recklessly, which is only to the advantage of Melchett, allowing Melchett to extract much higher casualties from Slink and the Germans. Now going, got a sniper here with a Boys 80 rifle. I don't think that was a British thing though. I know the Soviets, some snipers did it, partly to clear up bunkers, but I don't think the British actually sort of made any use of those kinds of snipers. I mean, I know they had snipers, but beyond that, it's less clear. We've got a fuel cache here from Slink, again, more fuel, and he's finally taking up there, by the way, finally. Good work. Panzer's equal tactics to advantage, flanking in from the orchard, dealing with the sappers there. Ostrom 2-2 moving in here. And Pioneers grabbing points there. Looks like Slink is on the warpath. Pack 40 puts down to a bit of further support here. Ostrom on the assault here, not exactly assault troops.
Are ready to create smoke screens for any vehicles.
And Ostrom is suppressed by again that Vickers, and there you go, Vickers turning into the other Ostrom, plus the MB-42 there. Anti-tank gun, mortar farming, any kind of assault here has to be swift and also a bit more flanky. I mean, basically just trying to do more punchy assault is not going to work, not with the amount of artillery that basically Melchett can lay down, part thanks to the mortar that Slink handed over there. More shots fired there, the 222 trying to once more serve as an anti-aircraft battery, the only thing that Slink actually has at the moment. And there we go, another kill. So okay, he can build the support armor core, and he certainly should do that as quickly as possible. I mean, the more armor he can get out fast at the moment, I think the better. He's definitely not, I think, a precision rate which will consider going for tier 4. I mean, he can do it, but it's going to mean more time for him to build up armor of his own, and also less time so to try and shock Melchett with some panzers. MB-42 needs to fall back. You got mines going down here to sort of make grabbing the eastern victory point difficult. Slink needs to be more careful with his infantry. He's actually suffered quite severe losses. He's lost 2 Grenadiers, 2 Ostrom so far, plus having an MB-42 and a mortar comparatively. Melchett actually hasn't suffered any sort of larger casualties like that. We can also see it here population cap-wise. I mean, there's a notable difference, and the only advantage currently that Slink has, he isn't really pushing as hard as he can to try and, you know, offset things. I mean, he had a huge full advantage versus Melchett, but we're 17 minutes into the game, and there's not really been anything with it, which is only to Melchett's advantage, since he can then just sort of push the manpower advantage he's got. In fact, he's even preparing for armor from Slink by getting the Firefly, which, by the way, won't help him really versus the infantry or anti-tank guns here that Slink has, but, you know, whatever armor that Slink does get is certainly going to be a bit of trouble now, which is certainly going to make it even more of an ill decision here by Slink to just, you know, wait as long as possible to get any armor. He's not even rushing for tier 4, if that is what he's thinking at this point, so there's definitely some improvement there for Slink, and that's the 3rd aircraft again. I mean, Melchett, I'm probably sure isn't carrying. I mean, he gets it for free. Pretty sure he's not a fan of the Royal Air Force then, the way he's throwing away their aircraft.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
It's a bit of a nasty situation. We got some wreckage in the command post. But again, the air support basically allows some more range in his mortars to sort of more use them effectively, and also just keep a better, closer eye of what Slink does. Which is not bad. Here we go, we got an assault here finally, trying to attack in, trying to flank in, instead of just trying to take the head road in. Good, good. Problem is, there's lacking the option for dealing with it easily. Sniper pushed away. Quick Gibraltar landing into the mortar placement, but there we go, bracing it, ensuring it does take too much damage. He needs more firepower to do the trick. Plus the Vickers is quickly turning the Huns into mincemeat, plus the infantry there with that machine gun. Not good to check. Also noting Melchett is playing a lot of munitions and more Ostrom arriving. Some more veteran ones arriving there, so it'll help flesh out things. And he's going for tier 4. Tier 4. He could have gone for this so much sooner, really. So, I mean, this is not really good play there by Slink1. Definitely not very strong. It's only further advantage to the advantage of Melchett. But here we go. Time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is, map control-wise, Slink has sort of lost any sort of advantage he had in the early game. Fuel advantage still got the most, but he really hasn't pushed it in any reasonable manner. Comparatively, also, he's got a much smaller force here than Melchett, who's got, well, infantry, support weapons galore. He's got 2 machine guns, mortar emplacements, mortars, anti-tank guns, snipers. He's got command vehicles. He's got a Firefly here as well with the Tulip upgrade and the tank commander, giving him more vision and accuracy, basically meaning this is definitely going to be sort of a problem here for any kind of armour that Slink might get there with its 17-pounder gun. So right now Slink is definitely in for a rough climb if he wants to try and win this fight. I mean, he's made some tactical errors several times. Strategically, the bigger one hasn't been basically rushing for armour when he had the fuel advantage. I mean, again, as a rule of thumb, if you've got a fuel advantage, particularly you had both fuel points, push it for armour as quickly as you can. Don't linger about, don't wait, go for tanks as soon as you can. Slink hasn't, so that definitely makes things more difficult. I mean, he can still push for armour, but any sort of advantage now is certainly a lot slimmer, in particular since the British with their Firefly can certainly counter those things a lot harder. That's definitely not going to be easy there for him. But definitely needs to get some armour. At this point, get a Panther out, get a machine gun up for it, and just sort of try and push against Melchett. Try to get that mortar in placement. If you get that way, a lot of the overall support for the central position is going to melt away. I mean, without the mortar in placement, Melchett can't really hold this area quite easily, and that's basically sort of the core of his defences at the moment. Sadly, of course, Slink lacks anything to sort of quickly deal with it, maybe except for a Sturmpanzer, but a Sturmpanzer is just going to get shot to pieces very quickly. So, essentially, once he gets a Panther, lead an assault here, up for here, strike for the mortar emplacement, clear out anything and to defend it, and then take it from there. For Melchett, he wants to keep pushing, wants to keep aggressive. He's got a lot of munitions, so some mines would be good here from his sappers. Set up some here and there, you know, try and slow down any German attack for the Jerrys and so on. I mean, the more he can do that, the better. I mean, there's no real reason for that. Otherwise, you know, upgrade. There we go, in fact, weapon racks. Another option would also be at this point, considering, you know, well, further upgrading specialization, in which case, you know, you can either get, say, some upgrades for sappers, or, you know, grenades for his infantry. I would say this, and he can actually go for a Comet, which would definitely give him an advantage in the fighting ahead. But definitely the challenge is on Slink's shoulders. He had the advantage, he fumbled it, but perhaps he can recover the ball here and see himself to victory against the Britisher. So, let's head back to the fight here.
The sector has been cut off.
Again, be careful of bringing MD42 on its own, in particular versus units in heavy cover. And again, Slink does seem to not quite have grasped the MD42 here properly. There goes some pushing it. Hands going to do this, they're not quite ready either. Most of Slink's forces now composed of Osthuben. Certainly also indicates there might be a slight sense of desperation here from him. And the particular way he's trying to use them again, note, out of cover, particularly extra cover, they're not really useful at all. In fact, they were wasted. They are very much dependent on cover. British interjections can sort of get away with it. Osthuben can't at all. They really can't hit anything out in the open. For the interjections, I believe it's a rate of fire thing, which does mean they can still hit things, they just won't do a lot of damage. Close to victory 3 there. And that mortar is definitely going to be quite nasty. He could try and throw out a command tank, but Firefly pretty much kills that on the spot. So far, Melchett is basically keeping it reserve. He does want his opponent, of course, to know he has it. And, I mean, at the moment, there's not really much he can do. I mean, he's got a coaxial machine gun, but a coaxial machine gun alone is not going to do particularly much. Two-to-do still operating. Finally building the heavy panzer corps. I mean, really, Slink here has been absolutely too slow in that sense. And again, further mortar fire. Very strong position here from Melchett, making it very difficult for Slink to move out. Needs to get that MD42 back as soon as possible before the British grab it. And oh, we do have some mines here. Modified M6 mines basically work like the Soviet M35. In fact, he's mined off here, basically meaning any head-on assault here is going to be very, very painful. Good job there. Osthuben wiped out. Ooh. Can't get the sniper here. Finally, some kind of victory for Slink1 and Germany. So that's always bloody well something. There you go, Feld people. Dietrich leading the assault here, forcing one infantry section. Doing his best to leave no man alive, but not quite succeeding in the adventure. Mortar crew there pushed away, anti-tank gun firing, so we've got machine guns here operating. Troops hanging about here. Nothing further though from Melchett at the moment. He's getting instead another sniper here. Very keen on those it seems. And Slink is quick to extend his already very minute forces. I mean 78 command points versus 37. I mean there's definitely a difference there in size and actual firepower, and yet he splits it up, making it easier for Melchett to smother what few forces that exist. In that sense, Slink's efforts at the moment seem a bit schizophrenic, but there you go. He can get a Panther right now. He needs to get a Panther. It is right there, so get it. Slink, again, for some reason, he's not quite strong in actually taking up and making use of it, at least so far here. But he definitely needs to get the Panther out. And he gets the Storm Punch instead. Looks like Melchett's ruse here with keeping the Firefly in reserve has basically worked. He's actually committing for something and blast away all the infantry. Oh, there you go. Firefly's arriving, pretty much giving it away. But the question is, will Slink actually change route the way so far has been acting a bit glacially when it comes to armour? Smoke pop there. I do believe they might have upgraded the smoke effect as well. Based on the free target, sort of also getting a taste ahead of the changes coming for the patch here, the 3rd of September. Panzerfaust penetrate but failed to damage the engine, simply not enough damage done to the Firefly beforehand, and there we go, we got a Cromwell cruiser tank rolling ahead. Swiftly moving ahead, the Cromwell was in fact a quite fast tank. I thought they're getting a good hit. Shooting away there with its 75mm gun, I believe. Quick fire ordnance or something like that. British primary medium tank, or at least their own, and he's calling in anti-building. The problem is there's no buildings here, so it's basically wasted. I mean, they need to be in buildings, they need to have some kind of bunkers up before the artillery's called in here. Little detail there, but there's not aware. It doesn't work on troops out in the open. Moving up here, infantry going down there, 19 kills, Vegetable 3 in cover with an MG42. Jerry is not going down front time, he's getting Panther, he's got the Storm Panther moving up. So it's basically the Storm Panther now to do all the anti-infantry work. There we go, Firefly moving in. Pack 40 moving up here, there we go. One rocket connects, other one misses. Infantry 6 moving to try and cover up here, quick about the loud, and there we go, we got the Cromwell moving up. Pack 40 needs to set up, and there we go, almost got the Firefly, almost. Grenade going off there. Panther got wiped out, Slink. Definitely has some work to do there. Way too quick to lose infantry. Not very good at dodging grenades. I mean, if you know you have seen your opponent's grenades before, always keep an eye out if they get close to your own troops. Be ready to dodge anything. Right there, Slink's definitely got some points to improve on. His infantry situation is in fact very poor. Down to one of this squad, one Oswald squad. Storm Panzer has managed an awful lot here. There you go, though, one hit. But didn't actually hit anything. Why he didn't go for a Panther is beyond me. Got the 6-pounder gun there firing in. Going ahead there from whatever Storm Panther up Talon had dispatched to support the 107th Panther Brigade here on its assault. There goes shot fired. Offence heroically shattered. Too bad there weren't any British near it. Specifically. Second shot though here. There we go. Keeps everybody but poor Harry alive. And there you go. Cromwell right in front of Pack 40. Target weak point. Target the weak point. Hines. Well, got the Cromwell. In fact, it's abandoned. Needs to completely knock it out here. Melchett might be getting a bit overconfident, which could perhaps give Slink a chance of getting back in the front. There we go. Cromwell knocked out. Cooked up. Panther still some time away here. Firefly getting repaired, infantry moving forwards. Slink might be inching his way back here, when it is on the way. But Slink still needs to put some steam into it. Needs to push forwards. Storm Panther versus anti-tank gun. Harry was evaporated. No chance there. Pioneers ready to support. Another devastating explosion. Another plume of blood as well. There we go. Anti-tank gun almost wiped out. Firefly ready to support that we're quickly putting back here. Alternating, he's gone for the hammer specialization, which does open up here for emergency war speed, which is basically sort of a one-time blitz maneuver. Panther sometime away there. Just a bit more though, just a bit more. Melchett throwing himself a bit more recklessly actually against Slink. Again, this is really what Slink needs. For Melchett to make a lot of mistakes because clearly Slink can't help himself. Soon Panther's available, soon Panther's available. Anti-tank and they're being... anti-tank gun being improved here. And again, air reconnaissance allows it to sort of spot ahead. There you go, pop smoke on the Sturmpanzer. Tulips fired. That's what they call those rockets that are mounted on tanks. They weren't exclusively mounted to Sherman Fireflies, but I think Ray in this case just went for it. I believe it was sort of more of a Sherman thing, not mounted on Cromwells. And we got the AVRE here moving ahead with its 290mm spigot mortar. Good versus sort of more static targets. Back here getting mortars. He's got two anti-tank guns up. He's getting the Panther. Good, good. Need to pull back the anti-tank gun. Looks like Slink. No, he's going for target weak point now. Can he work it out? Oh dear. Messed up and kaput. Avery sorted that one out in a matter of moments. Right flank not seeing much action. Quick grab points. No one's grabbed the MD-42 there. Oh dear. I do think the Avery here is a bit of overkill. I think we'd be better off just getting the Comet. Certainly is going to help him once the Panther arrives, certainly a lot more. The Firefly was a British modification of the Sherman, basically stuffed a 17-pounder gun in it. Though it wasn't without issues, because the turret really wasn't big enough to handle it, which rather resulted in accuracy issues, meaning that beyond a certain point the Firefly really couldn't hit anything. Which is not something you actually hear a lot about, but it's the truth. So, little fun fact there. Pendulum machine gun there, he's going for another eastern offence. He's basically realised at this point Melchett's dug in around the west, so he's going to hit him. In that sense, at least, Slink is displaying some tactical awareness of the situation, which is good, but if he just could A, preserve his unit a bit better, and B, had pushed for armour faster, you know, he'd probably be in a lot better position than he is right now, which is a very precarious one with 190 victory points versus 448. Already here we got the assault getting that awesome there with an MD-42. Holding up the assault there. Panther should give some support for the Sturmpanzer as soon as it can. Noting, by the way, no machine gun on the Sturmpanzer, but we've got the Panther. MD-40 needs to fall back. Don't lose it again. Oh, we got Bren gun. It's up as well for the infantry section. 27 kills. I mean, they're really just tearing the Huns apart. And with the AVRE moving in there, things are going to be looking a lot less pleasant for Slink. But there you go. Panther opens up return there. There we go. Rockets fired, but they missed the mark there from the Firefly. There you go, shot from Panther. This high velocity 75mm with a gun. Sturmpanzer moving out, attack cleared up. Panther needs to get away. Oh no, Slink, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ah, Slink, you silly bastard. Takes a direct hit. They're almost knocked out. Still not moving. What did you think would happen? He just bounced off. He's about to lose the Panther. He needs to get away here as far this most occurred to his route to basically ensure that Melchett will be able to sort of catch up. But it looks like though here he's managed to save it. No, it's just barely. That was very unnecessarily done there by Slink. And he's actually rushing it. He's going to be trying to Panzer fire set, getting murdered here by the machine guns on the Churchill. And another infantry upgraded with Bren guns. ready to hold back. Jerry's, nicely done there, nicely done. The Bren gun, a, well, Britishly licensed gun from Czechoslovakia, with some slight modifications. The Bren basically standing for Brienne Enfield. Oh dear, main gun destroying the Sturm Panzer. Veteran T2 on the Firefly. And the pack there in a lot of trouble here with the infantry section with the Spren gun. And right there we see the Slink's armoured forces have taken an absolutely crushing blow there. It's getting a lot of pioneers to quick repair, but that's good. At least there's some tactical sense there from Slink. But that's it really.
Need something? Yeah. Pioneers ready for anything!
More sappers to help speed up the repairs as well here of Melchett's armoured vehicles. Good, good. For him anyway, so obviously it's no good news for Slink. He's got very little left here at the moment.
Taking our territory.
His armoured forces have seen vastly better days.
We must stiffen our resolve.
They've only hit them faster with it.
5 points. We are losing a sector.
MG42 abandoned once more, not cared for, unloved. And that Grenadier episode also done quite well here. As long as that British MG42. Oh, there we go, actually. There we go. Hole in the wall, all of a sudden. Units can actually fire towards the site there.
Panzer IV is ready for battle.
So that's a nice little detail there. Always good to keep in mind from time to time. And it is, they're getting absolutely slaughtered here by the Vickers machine gun, 16 kills. No way to escape, there you go. Mortis finishes off the jobs. Light machine gun again dropped. Oh, Slink, you silly person. You've got a command tank here called up over 3rd Panzer. Certainly feels a bit desperate there from Slink. Victory points are not looking good. He needs to attack now with whatever he can muster, regain as many victory points as humanly possible before it's too late. Damage there, Ostrom getting murdered. Yeah, no survivors. After that, he's actually preparing a head-on assault on the village. Well, we know that's not going to work out very well due to preparation. Melchett made, minutes ahead, halfway through the game he'd already mined, and there we go. Straight into mine here. He should have flanked, A head-on assault on any position is generally always the most risky thing to do. And he's trying to get his Panther up. There we go, taking hits from the Firefly rockets. 17-pounder gun there, firing away, almost got the Panther. Still Panther command tank, here's one from the north. Heavy damage inflicted, and there we go, Veteran won the Panther, but it's simply too late. And there we go, game over. A loss for the 107th Panzer Brigade, a victory for Melchett, victory for the United Kingdom. So there we go, game over, a brutal fight in some senses. I mean, Slink started out quite nicely, but again, the problem was, and again, we do see it with some Wehrmacht players here, even before, the British will be coming out, again, they have a very hard time actually taking up, even when they have the advantage. I mean, really had so much for both viewpoints. He should have just checked up, gone for medium armor as soon as he could get some Panzer IVs out. Stukes, all that, he could have had the field much better control there. Instead, he basically petered out already there, combined with some sloppy infantry preservation, basically allowed Melchett to sort of just slowly build up, gain control of the centre, and afterwards that sort of slowly dominate the field piece by piece. I mean, he could have been more aggressive. He could have, I think, pushed the bat at Slink, and I think the AVE could have been better replaced here with the Comet, but there you go. All the way, nicely played here by Melchett. Good use of somewhat of his abilities there. The command vehicle certainly played a larger role than reconnaissance, but beyond that, not so much there. But there you go, the first fight here with the British in Company of Heroes 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it also gives you here from on how the British play, or at least how you can play them. This is certainly one way of doing it. And certainly if you haven't considered pre-ordering, you can do so. There's still a few days left there. If you do pre-order, you will get a bit of money off. But of course, you don't want to. That is also quite understandable. Anyways, This is Imperial Dane saying thank you all for watching. Hope you had some fun. Hope you learned some things. Hopefully, you guys should some matches. If you did, you know, feel free to subscribe to the Propagandacast and also, you know, share it with everybody else. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers and see you all tomorrow. Bye.